Hey there! So you're getting ready for the Cambridge B2 first exam? Well, you've come to the right place. Today, we are taking a complete tour of the listening paper.
And right off the bat, a huge shout out to Robert Martinez, whose fantastic ideas really helped shape this guide. It's always great when we can learn together.
Okay, let's be real for a second. The listening paper can feel a little nerve-wracking, right? You only get to hear everything twice, and sometimes it feels like it's all happening way too fast. But don't you worry, that's exactly why we're here.
We are going to break down all 4 parts of the test, piece by piece. And what's really important is that this isn't just my opinion. All this information comes straight from the official Cambridge B2 First Handbook for Teachers, so you know you're getting the real deal. Okay, you ready? Let's dive in.
All right, our first stop on the tour is part 1. I like to call this the quick-fire questions round. Think of it as a warm-up, you know? It gets your brain tuned in and ready to go. So, what's the focus here? Well, it's not just about catching facts. You're really listening for the vibe. What's the speaker's purpose? Are they happy? Annoyed? Are they trying to persuade you? It's all about understanding the feeling and the main point, not just the individual words.
And when I say quick, I mean quick. Each little audio clip is only about 30 seconds long. So you listen, you pick your answer, and bam, you're on to the next one. It definitely keeps you on your toes.
And the structure itself, it's super straightforward. You'll hear 8 short recordings, and the key thing is, they're all totally unrelated to each other. For each one, you've just got one multiple-choice question with 3 options, A, B, or C. That's it. Simple, right?
Okay, now here's a massive tip, and this comes straight from the handbook. This is the #1 trap people fall into in part 1. You might hear a word or a phrase from one of the wrong answers, say option C, in the recording, and your brain goes, oh, I heard that word. But hold on, that doesn't mean it's the right answer. It's a classic distractor. You've got to listen for the overall meaning, not just hunt for matching words.
All right, so that was part 1. Let's move on to part 2, filling the gaps. Now this part is a completely different ballgame. You're going to need to put on your detective hat for this one.
Your task here is all about sentence completion. So we're not worrying about the speaker's feelings anymore. Now it's all about catching those specific, detailed bits of information. Think names, numbers, places, the concrete facts you need to fill in the blanks on your paper.
And yeah, unlike part 1 with its 8 tiny clips, here you're listening to one single longer talk. It's usually a monologue, like a presentation or a speech, and it's going to be about 3 to 4 minutes long. So, to recap, 1 long monologue and 10 sentences you need to complete. But here is the absolute best part, and it's a huge relief. The information you need to find follows the exact same order as the questions on the paper. So you're not jumping around trying to find answers, you can just follow along as you listen. So helpful. And here's another golden rule for part 2 that'll save you a ton of stress. Your answer is never going to be more than 3 words. Seriously, you're just looking for a word or a short phrase, so don't panic and try to write down a whole sentence. Just focus on finding those few missing words.
All right, halfway there. On to part 3, which I like to call Who Said What? Seriously, think of this section as a matching puzzle. You've got 5 different people talking, and you just have to figure out which statement fits which speaker.
So here's the deal. You'll hear 5 short monologues. All 5 speakers are talking about the same general topic, but, and this is the key, they all have a different opinion or attitude. Your job is to listen to each person and match them to the sentence that perfectly sums up what they think.
But wait, there's a twist. You'll hear 5 speakers, but you're going to see 8 options to choose from on the paper. See what they did there? That means 3 of those options are just there to trick you. They don't match anyone. It really forces you to listen carefully and be sure about your choice. And this piece of advice from the Cambridge Handbook is absolutely crucial for part 3. Do not rush. If you're not totally 100% sure about an answer after you hear it the first time, just leave it. Wait for the second listening to confirm it. It's so much better to be patient than to lock in the wrong answer just because you felt pressured.
And that brings us to our final stop on this tour, part 4, the long conversation. This one is kind of the main event. It's the longest task, and it's usually an interview or a discussion between 2 people. So this part actually brings back the multiple choice questions, just like in part 1. But the big difference is, instead of those short, separate clips, you're following one single conversation as it unfolds. You're trying to track the speaker's opinions, their attitudes, and the main ideas as they chat back and forth.
Okay, so the format is one interview, about 3 or 4 minutes long. You'll have 7 multiple choice questions to answer. And, just like in part 2, which is great news, the questions follow the order of the conversation. So again, it helps you stay on track and not get lost.
Phew! Okay, so we've walked through all 4 parts of the exam. Now, before we wrap up, let's talk about a winning strategy. These are the big picture tips that will help you across the entire listening paper.
These 3 steps, honestly, they are your keys to success. Step 1, and I cannot say this enough, use that pause time before the audio starts to read the questions. Always, always do this. It's a total game changer. Step 2, get English into your daily life. Listen to podcasts, music, watch movies. The more you immerse yourself, the more natural this will feel. And finally, step 3, never ever leave a blank answer. You don't get penalized for wrong guesses, so you have nothing to lose. Always take your best shot.
So as you're practicing and getting ready, keep these strategies in mind. Think of them as your roadmap. And of course, we've got to thank Robert Martinez again for the ideas that helped put this whole guide together for you. And hey, if you found this breakdown useful and you're looking for more great resources, you should definitely check out Robert's YouTube channel. It's called Learning Together with Robert, and it is packed with awesome stuff to help you learn.
So, that's our tour. I really hope you're feeling a bit more confident and maybe even excited to tackle the B2 first listening paper. So I'll leave you with one last question to get you started. What's the very first thing you're going to listen to in English today to start training those ears? Thanks so much for joining me.